What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and it would appear that the Mulan Disney Plus experiment was a failure. Why can I say that with such confidence? Well, we already talked about the effects, the early finances we saw from both the Chinese market of the film and Disney Plus subscription numbers being roughly 200 million or something like that below the target to break even. Now, today, we've seen Disney announce that they have basically delayed everything. Full panic mode, I think. Now, Disney is worried. And as you can see, their stock is down 3% today. I expect it to go far lower by the end of the day because this is just devastating financial news for Disney, and you just hate to see it. Now, Marvel pushed back Black Widow to 2021, delaying the MCU future even further. Now, I've talked about before how the director of this film doesn't even know basic details about the Avengers, and that's frustrating. But I still want to support Black Widow because I like Scarlett Johansson and I like the character. So it was still going to be a movie that I probably was going to rent. I don't know if about seeing it in the theater or at least as a movie I was going to watch somehow. Shang-Chi and the Eternals, the beginning of Marvel's Phase 4 set of movies, will be delayed as well. The Marvel Cinematic Universe has stopped in its tracks until 2021. I think that means this will be the first year we don't have an MCU movie in like a super long time. That's a second delay for the film, which stars Scarlett Johansson as her Avengers character. It was originally scheduled for a May 1st release before the lockdowns, and Disney bumped it to fall. Now the film will premiere more than a year after its original date. And Black Widow's rescheduling comes a domino effect with the other films in the queue, Shang-Chi and Legend of the Ten Rings, and the Eternals. The Eternals have been moved from a November 6, 2020 to February 12th, 2021 date. Now it is moved again from November 5th to November 5th, 2021. Shang-Chi was first scheduled for February 12th. That moved to May 7th. Now it will be July 9th. Delay of these three films is the latest in a series of postponements and reactions to the worldwide lockdown. Movie theaters involve large gatherings of people, and while many theaters are now open again in the United States and around the world, there isn't a general feeling that everybody's ready to go back to seeing movies the way we used to before the lockdowns. That let's all go to the movies moment may not come until there's an accessible and successful vaccine. I don't know. I suspect people will magically be okay with that after the election, but that's just me. For studios like Disney, which owns Marvel, lockdowns and social distancing have created a situation where they need to decide between a few options. Delay a movie, release a movie anyway, or release the movie directly on a streaming service like Disney+. Disney released New Mutants, a long-delayed X-Men film, when it acquired the company and bought it from 20th Century Fox in August. Disney then chose to release Mulan, first slated for theaters in March, at a premium on Disney+, streaming service in some theaters worldwide earlier this month. New Mutants hauled 35 million worldwide, and the Mulan's official download haul has yet to be released. It only made 57 million in the international box office, a disappointing figure when you consider the cost of about $200 million. And this is the part where I think that we can now safely assume that the Disney Plus launch was a failure. And I don't necessarily like the fact that they seem to be abandoning that. I think the problem was it was too dang expensive, first of all. Second of all, Mulan faced plenty of its own backlash. Maybe if it was more financially accessible, there are a lot of families that purposely see movies in matinees because they can't afford the $15 a head price at the premium time. Heck, we have a very popular budget theater here in where I live, where you'll see a Marvel movie like a month after it comes out for $3, and everyone goes there. And people can wait, unless it's Endgame. I think had they released Mulan at like $20, $15, they probably would have netted better. But that's just my opinion. The lack of box office enthusiasm and low prospects of budget recuperation, as well as the factors like some theaters not being open and people still having qualms about sitting in a theater for 2 hours, may be the reason Marvel decided to push back Black Widow to 2021. Well, it's going to be interesting because, as I've said before, there's going to be people who never go back to the movie theaters. Never. And there's going to be people that lose a lot of interest in the next year. There's going to be a lot of people that grow out of Marvel movies. And this is a huge interruption into their feeder line. A big part of the Marvel success is this continuous dopamine drip of Marvel movies that keep people talking about Marvel movies in between other Marvel movies. Now we're going to go a year and a half, maybe 2 years before another major release. And let's be clear, nobody gives a crap about the Eternals or Shang-Chi. I don't think they might be great movies. I hope for the actors' case that they are, but it's not the Avengers. It's not Thor. Nobody cares about the Eternals. Yes, I know some of you in the comments are saying, I care about the Eternals. You know what I mean. It's not like a billion-dollar blockbuster franchise, the Eternals or Shang-Chi. It's just not going to be. They're both of them are going to underperform even what Doctor Strange did, in my opinion. And that was before lockdowns. By the way, the push to 1 million subscribers is on. If you haven't yet subscribed, if I can get 2,000 people a day to subscribe, clicking that red button right down below the video, there's a strong chance we'll actually make it to 1 million by the end of the year. I didn't think it was possible, but I've done the math, and I'm going to do something special if we do it. But again, only if I earn your subscription. Now, the lack of box office enthusiasm, but because this is Marvel, Marvel has a connected universe and a lengthy schedule of movies ahead. A Black Widow push means a push for every subsequent Marvel film. Shang-Chi, Marvel's first superhero movie with a predominantly Asian and Asian American cast. Well, if they gave it the same treatment they gave Mulan, it's not going to do well. Was originally set to follow Black Widow and Eternals 2020 release. Both Shang-Chi and Eternals, and the latter of which helmed by award-winning director Chloe Zhao, are set to introduce new characters to the MCU and give us a more forward-looking stories than Black Widow. Because Black Widow's, of course, a prequel of sorts because she's dead now. Sorry, spoiler alert. It's going to be interesting to see how this continues to trend. We'll see. I don't think this is great news for Disney. You're going to have years of not having big revenue anymore. You have here Mulan, why it was a missed opportunity to create a strong young Asian woman on screen. Now the SJW sharks are circling around Mulan. Look, the film was average. If you liked Mulan, if you paid $30 to see Mulan, that's okay. There are a lot of people that didn't care for Mulan for both political reasons. The Chinese market didn't like Mulan because, I don't know, they're finicky. And Disney blew it. They should have released it for cheaper. They should have released it or held it probably. Not having it in the American cinemas cost them $100 million. It was still going to do $100 million in the American cinemas. What did they make on Disney Plus? I think the last estimate I saw was 30 million, 20, 30 million. Not even close. And the price is too high. Plus, it's going to be free in December. So you'll see another advertising push for Mulan around December, trying to get signups to increase. And remember, Disney Plus signups are like $8 a month, and that's a lot of long tail revenue. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think it's safe to say that the Disney Plus experiment was a failure, at least for now. And Disney has panicked in reaction to that and delayed everything. There's not a lot of faith in the American cinema, the cinemas of the West right now, and I understand why. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.